Welcome back to another video on Gearsaw Studios, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build yourself the Backrooms, in case you ever need an interesting minigame concept involving endless mazes, or something to drop your friends in when they're annoying you. Either way, it's usually a good reason to build this. So without further ado, onto the tutorial. And in order to build this, first off you need a large area. I'd prefer underground, but technically you could make it on the surface, but still. For a palette, our ceiling is going to be smooth stone, pretty easy. Then for our lighting, we're going to be using ultra frog lights, which are gotten by getting orange frogs to eat small magma cubes, and that might be a little difficult to get. If need be, it can be substituted for sea lanterns, although it won't look as good. Then for the walls, smooth sandstone, and the floor, a very interesting block, mushrooms. Any of the three variants work. On bedrock, you even have the stem variant alone, which is very nice. But you see how it's all brown here. But if it touches another mushroom block, it turns into the pore texture. The pore texture looks like the floor, and now it looks like we have some 80s carpet in the maze, which means we are ready to build the backrooms once you find a suitable location. There's many different ways you can do this, whether it be a hole in the floor or a piston door, so try to get innovative with what you're doing. If you're looking for an easier entrance to your backrooms, then you can try this very simplistic technique. No redstone needed, no fancy pistons, simple ignorance is all you need to catch someone. Trapdoors. Instantly traps them, because they'll likely not even look at the floor before entering their home, before they fall into the pit. Make sure the walls are smooth stone or whatever block you chose for your ceiling, but I strongly recommend smooth stone. Right before the bottom, we have some signs here, water above them to prevent fall damage. We don't want to accidentally kill anyone trying to go into here. Then we start excavating. 3 blocks tall, and it should be pretty large. This will likely end up to be one of the largest excavation projects you'll do, because you have to get a large area in order to truly trap someone. I'd say about 25 by 25 is the minimum you can do, although I'd recommend going larger. Of course, if you only plan to do this for one-time gag, or you're low on resources, feel free to go smaller, but I'd recommend making it decently large. Now, I've excavated myself an 81 by 81 area. A little overkill for this project, but still, it's to really capture the feeling. And you can see, even a villager fell for the trap up here. In case you ever want to send mobs down here, that's the way to do it. Trapdoors. Because we will be adding mobs later. From here, what you want to do is fill in the ceiling with smooth stone, and trust me, that's going to get quite expensive. Not to mention, if you accidentally cut into the surface over there, you have to fill it all in, especially if you did it with commands. But anyways, if we fill this all in with smooth stone, you'll notice it's gonna get very expensive quick, which is why you need to draw the lines somewhere when it comes to cost. So here, I decreased the cost a little, and we're going to fill it in all with smooth stone, keep, and what do you know, 5,840. And for reference, that's several double chests. Which means, yeah, you don't exactly want this to get too large and out of hand. But anyways, make your entire ceiling that, do the mushroom stuff with the flooring, and yes, that's going to be quite painful. But I recommend doing it for the whole area to give you more freedom of where you want the walls. Just by replacing the palette of the walls with our actual backrooms palette, you can see this already starts looking like the backrooms. 3 blocks tall in order to make it more claustrophobic. We got the carpet, and we got the wallpaper, which means it's now time to do the most annoying task of this entire build, the lighting. And of course, this is going to take a long time. Feel free to use structure blocks to automate this, or even space it out randomly, not even following a pattern. But if you really want to do the pattern, then what you want to do is every 2 blocks, another ultra frog light, like this, and it's gonna take a while And if you make yours too large like I did, it's going to take a very long time. However, structure blocks can massively automate this, and I will be showing that off shortly. Although survival mode players won't be able to benefit from this, creative mode players can build the backrooms incredibly quickly using this. By getting a structure block using /give, interact with it, and go to the save menu. It's in all editions even if your GUI looks different because you're on Bedrock. Relative position 3, the structure should be 1 block tall, and then depending on what axis you're building this on, one of these will be 1, the other one will be 48. If done right, you'll have this bounding box that stretches a good portion across your ceiling. And what you do from there is you click save on it in all caps, and then you grab yourself another using control click, or if you're on Bedrock on controller, I'm not entirely sure how you do that one, but fortunately you can always re-enter lights. You can even change it to L to make it quicker, and then you change it from save mode to load mode, and now we have a big row of lights. Do that repeatedly, and then you'll have most of your lights in. Then we can place a copy somewhere along the line, and if you angle it correctly, it will place even more lights. Go into spectator mode to see where the bounding box ends up. Once you have all of your lighting in, whether it be through harsh manual placement or structure block shenanigans, you will have this speckled look to the room. However, sometimes your lights will end up misaligned, whether it be through human error or structure block error. And both are okay, since sometimes they're too large scale to fix, and let those mistakes be part of the build. No reason to stop them. The Backrooms is this sterile, chaotic place which has a bunch of monsters in it. Work around it. If you have gaps too large, build a wall. Which means it's time to start building the maze itself. Some parts can be dead ends, some parts can be endless loops, but remember, this is a maze with no exit, no goals, unless you let it be one. Which means, if you don't have anything in mind for an exit, don't make one. With some walls being added into place, some covering some lights in order to create a little bit of moody lighting, we can see it's becoming quite interesting. From afar, you can definitely see how I can get lost, and although this is a very small section of a very large area, you can probably get the idea that this is going to be a hard maze, mainly because it has no exit, but still. Especially once we add the mobs into place, this is going to be quite the trouble to get through. Now, we have all of the maze complete. All the walls are in, and you can see it's nigh impossible to traverse. We have pillars, dead ends, interlocking corridors, and ridiculously long hallways that will go absolutely nowhere. Just how the backrooms should be. And we only have one thing left to add. That is our foes that are going to be in here. And there's several monsters you can include. Wither skeletons are the most accurate to the story, because the thing is, they're tall, scraggly creatures, and they're going to chase you, and not to mention, they're quite tall. And while they might seem to be a decent choice, they're that good at chasing. So, not the best choice per se, but if you're going for accuracy, they are. Then, I'd recommend the Ravager. Although you have to make every single hallway too wide, still, the Ravager is one, not something you can beat with just a fist, and two, very strong. If you're up against a Ravager, you're unlikely to make it too far. Since you can see it's quite fast, much faster than a Wither skeleton, and you can see it will even kill you. And then we have our final one, the Warden. I recommend not placing a Warden in here, because 1, if your backrooms isn't deep enough, it will start killing things on the surface, 2, too hard to escape from, and 3, attacks through walls. And another thing, it's going to inflict darkness on everyone in the maze, which makes it too much of a thing to include. Although, if you're looking for something that is incredibly dangerous, go for it. And with that, it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Either way, enjoy the rest of your day. Try avoiding no clipping out of reality. This place isn't very fun. Gearsaw out.